Just hit that first beat hard. All right, you cruising down the street.
All right. Cruising down the street in my 6'4".
Hey, that was dope, eh?
The rise and fall of platinum-selling group NWA is the basis of the new biopic Straight Outta Compton, opening in theaters this weekend. Here now with his review is film critic Richard Krause. A lot of hype around this movie.
A lot of hype around this movie. A lot of hype because of O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s performance. He plays Ice Cube, and Ice Cube in real life is O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s father.
Yes.
And so he's playing his dad in this, one of the founding members of NWA, who were the rap group that really started gangster rap, coming out of Compton in South Central Los Angeles. I loved this movie. I like music biographies, generally speaking, but this movie does something a little different. It takes all the kind of cliches that we're used to, the rise and fall of a band, how infighting and money and ego blows apart a band. We've seen all that stuff 100 times. What this movie does is give us a really detailed sense of place, where this movie happened. Compton in the late 80s and 90s, an echo of Rodney King sort of goes all the way through this movie. So it does that very well, but then it also focuses on the characters and not the situation. So it focuses on Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, and Ice Cube, and the camaraderie between these three guys, really something to see in this movie, and it's the thing that gives this movie its heart and its soul.
Speaking of heart and soul, the actor that plays Eazy-E getting a lot of accolades.
He's great. His name is Jason Mitchell, and he is really the center of this story, and he's fantastic, and he's got the broadest arc in terms of, you know, starting as a drug dealer, becoming a superstar, and then having other things happen, which I don't want to spoil in case you haven't seen this. It's 2.5 hours long. It doesn't feel like it. Even if you're not a fan of NWA's music, I think you'll get something out of here. On the downside, it doesn't treat its female characters particularly well. They're girlfriends and wives, and sort of secondary to the story. We might have to wait for the Salt and Peppa biopic to get a good look at women in hip hop.
Hopefully
but
that's coming.
4-star movie.
4 stars. Okay, let's get to The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Your interviews have been great, by the way. We're showing another one today.
Thank you.
Set that up for us.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is based on the television show from the sort of mid to late 60s. It was either James Bond with jokes or a less funny Get Smart, depending on how you looked at it. It starred David McCallum and Robert Vaughn as Ilya Kuryakin and Napoleon Solo, KGB agent and a CIA agent. They have been replaced in the big screen blow-up by Guy Ritchie with Henry Cavill, who played Superman, Armie Hammer, who, look at that, yeah, everybody likes Henry Cavill.
Little cute.
When I interviewed him, we'll see the interview a little while later in London a couple of weeks ago, and Armie Hammer was next to him. Armie Hammer, a good-looking man. You walk in,
bad.
Everyone pales sitting next to Henry Cavill. Anyway, so they play those two characters in a movie that is stylish. The music's fantastic. The clothes are terrific. You could not have found in Alicia Vikander, who plays the female component of this, a really strong female character, you could not have found someone who looks more like they belong in a mid-60s set movie. Except the movie is not particularly memorable. I wanted so much more from this. It's a 3-star movie for me because of the style, but I wanted a bit more.
Yeah, the fashion's great. We're almost out of time, but can we get to Chris Farley quickly?
Chris Farley, I am Chris Farley. If you were a fan, and who wasn't, from, you know, I Live in a Van Down by the River, days from Saturday Night Live, to Tommy Boy and the movies and all that sort of thing. David Letterman called him the human thunderball. Lorne Michaels called Chris Farley infuriatingly talented. And this is a movie that stitches together some childhood friends, some contemporaries of his, like Mike Myers and David Spade and those sort of people, to give you a look at his professional life. Not so much his personal life, it's there, but the dark stuff is glossed over. This is not like the Amy Winehouse doc that we saw a little while ago that will really hit you in the heart, but it will make you laugh.
How many stars?
It's a 3-star movie.
I know you've got another review that we'll ask people to look at online. It's called She's Funny That Way.
Jennifer Aniston, Owen Wilson.
That's right. So you'll find all of Richard's reviews on our website.